The air hung thick with the smell of salt and sunscreen, the kind of air that clung to your skin and lingered even after you'd gone inside. It was the kind of air that always reminded me of the day I met him, standing on the crowded boardwalk in Ocean City. He was a mess, really. A tangle of sun-bleached hair, a t-shirt with a faded Grateful Dead logo, and an easy grin that could rival the summer sun. He was selling seashells of all things. I remember thinking it was the most ridiculous thing I'd ever seen. A guy in his late 20s peddling cheap souvenirs on a Friday afternoon. But he had this energy, this undeniable charm that drew me in like a moth to a flickering flame. "You looking for something special, miss?" he asked, his eyes crinkling at the corners. I laughed, unable to resist his easygoing charm. "I'm just browsing," I said, picking up a smooth white shell. "Are you sure these are real seashells? They look awfully perfect." He chuckled, a warm, rumbling sound that sent shivers down my spine. "Real as the day is long. Each one a story, you know. Each one unique." We talked for hours that day. About the stories the shells held, the stories we held within ourselves. I learned his name was Ethan. He was a struggling artist, and he dreamt of one day opening a gallery in his hometown, a quaint little town nestled in the Appalachian Mountains. He made me laugh, made me think, and made me feel something I hadn't felt in a long time. Truly seen. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, we walked hand in hand along the beach. The waves crashed against the shore, their rhythmic roar weaving a soundtrack to our conversation. "I think I'm falling for you," I said, my voice barely a whisper. He stopped, his gaze fixed on the horizon. "I think I'm falling for you too," he replied, his voice rough with emotion. That summer we were inseparable. We explored the beaches, road tripped to the mountains, and shared late-night conversations under the stars. Ethan was everything I'd ever wanted and more. He was kind, funny, passionate, and he saw me, truly saw me, in a way no one ever had. We married in the fall, a beautiful ceremony under the canopy of autumn leaves. I wore a simple white dress and he wore a well-worn navy suit. It was a small affair, just our closest friends and family, but it was perfect. Ethan's dream of opening a gallery materialized soon after. He filled the space with his art, vibrant and soulful works that captured the beauty of the mountains that surrounded him. He was a natural at it, his passion and dedication resonating in every piece. I was his biggest supporter, his biggest fan. Years flew by in a blur of shared dreams, laughter, and the quiet comfort of knowing we had each other. We built a life together, a life filled with love, laughter, and the occasional squabble over whose turn it was to do the dishes. But life, as it always does, threw us curveballs. One day the gallery was empty. Ethan had a stroke, his vibrant energy silenced by a sudden debilitating illness. He was left paralyzed, his right side unresponsive. The world around me seemed to shrink, the colors fading into shades of grey. I found myself lost, adrift in a sea of grief and despair. But Ethan, my Ethan, refused to let go. He fought with every ounce of his being, his spirit as stubborn and strong as the mountains but he started writing. His words, as always, flowed with a power and beauty that transcended his physical limitations. He wrote poems, short stories, even a children's book about a young boy who dreamed of climbing the highest mountain. He fought for years, his will as strong as the love we shared. And I fought with him, by his side, every step of the way. I read to him, I fed him, I held him, and I loved him with every fibre of my being. One morning I woke to find Ethan missing. A note lay on the bedside table, his familiar handwriting shaky but clear. It was a poem, a love letter to life, to hope, to me. He had finally found peace, his spirit soaring free. He was gone, but his love lived on, a beacon of light that guided me through the darkest of times. The air hangs thick with the smell of salt and sunscreen, but it's not the same. It carries a bittersweet tang, a reminder of the day I met him, of the love we shared, of the life we built. And though the years have passed, I still feel him beside me, his love a constant presence, a comforting warmth that lingers even when the sun sets and the if shadows grow long.